Welcome back to Becoming a Published Author is Fun. We are in 25, episode 25, 8. And if that title doesn't make any sense to you, go to episode 8, not 25, 8, but just 8. And it explains there why I chose that title, because it is fun. We are continuing our look at websites. The last one we looked at websites, why they were important to have. And I got into types a little bit, but we're going to go into types a little bit deeper today. And we're going to be looking at the business and e-commerce types. There are the one or two or even three-page website. That's called basic, the basic website type. And if all you're doing is trying to get somebody to your brick and mortar store, those are great. You can give directions, a little bit of information about yourself, and it will do what it's designed to do. But if your marketing is online, then you need either a business or an e-commerce website, because people don't drive by your website. They don't walk by it, they don't drive by it. They need something to attract their attention. Now, we've all been down the road and we've seen somebody standing on the curbside there with a sign, and they're going like this and they're twisting it and twirling it. um, I don't know about you, but when they're twirling it, I can't read what's on the sign. I think they're doing that just to get your attention. But what they need to do is twirl it, then hold it still so we can read it. Maybe twirl it once or twice, but they get carried away with it, and you don't know what they're advertising. And if you're on the road, you're driving, you don't stay there. You keep on going. So by the time they get around to stopping, you're already well past, and it didn't mean a thing to you. But that is sort of what you're doing with websites. You want to attract people. And you do that with your content and in the content links, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But the website itself should be a hub, or it can also be a destination place. People come to your website for your products. They come to your website maybe for a blog or some other thing that you have on your website. And so it's a destination. But it's also a hub, and I think of the two, that is your primary thing, because what the hub does, they come to your hub, your website, and then you can link them to other places. For instance, Amazon Central. Amazon provides think of as a website for you. And there's if you have done products using Amazon to create those products, then it's going to be, those products will be easily, they may automatically be there, or you may have to load them in there. Amazon Central is a great place. You can send people there, especially for ebooks and stuff of this nature. However, just know, my experience has been it's a little bit inflexible, and if you go there and you have your products there, and then you decide that someday in the future you no longer want to sell that product, maybe you're going to rename it, repurpose it, maybe you're going to, that service will no longer be available. And if you have that on there, personally, I don't put my services on Amazon, just the books. But if you're able to, that's another thing. That if it changes, they don't like change. And so it's very resistant to it. I have never been able to get a book off of there that once it's on, it's been on. I've even contacted them, and they have said, nope, you can't do it. So what I do is a little bit of a roundabout, and I put in a description, and maybe it's out of print now, so I'll put out of print, no longer available, something of that nature. So just as a consumer, when they come here, they'll see that and they'll say, oh, that's no longer available, and they'll move on. So, but anyhow, Amazon Central is there, and you should use it, especially if you do ebooks. And you can do ebooks, and you can do PDFs on your website as well. So you want them in both places. Another thing you can do is sell right from your website, whether it's business or e-commerce. Now, the thing you needed to think of is e-commerce is the business type on steroids. you can do more. So whatever you can do on business, you can do more on e-commerce. More flexibility than you normally would have. And that is good. It costs a little bit more as well. But you can do it on business. And that you can actually change things around and how it looks and everything. But if you really want something to look like that, you can actually on e-commerce, they have different storefront themes and things of this nature that you can use. And so I use e-commerce, but at one point I used business. And it is an effective way. You can use PayPal or other some similar marketing tool to sell your books, whether it be one book or if you have multiple books. And so this is what you do, either business or e-commerce. And connect with a link to Amazon Central. Also sell from your website. You can also do other things. You can have, for instance, I write a blog. You can post your blog right on the website. Different things you can do. You're making it a destination where people can come for your different products and services, or you can have it as a hub that will send you to Facebook or LinkedIn or some other place, or even to Amazon Central. So you need to have either business or e-commerce. You want it to look professional, and this is where it separates itself from the basic. Basic, you can have more than 3 pages, and you can do some things, and you can use PayPal and other tools like that. But it's more restrictive, and it certainly doesn't look all that professional. But if that's all you can afford, then that's the way to go. But if you can afford it, go with a business. The more expensive one is e-commerce, and it has so many different tools that you can use. It's well worth investment if you make it. One of the things is whether it's business or e-commerce, it's going to look more professional. So when people come to your bookstore, they'll look at it, and you want it to be something that they can navigate easily. You want it to be something that when they come there, whether it's using their phone or their PC, they can come there and discover your site, discover your products and services when they're scrolling through it. And so you want it to look and feel professional. So when you're in the case of here, you're driving by, it's by content. You're by links actually, but you have content plays a key role here. So you're going to leave a footprint is what you're going to do. And what is that footprint? It's another way of saying links. Well, but there's more to it than just links. But so here it is. You create some content you want people to see. Well, eventually you want to get them to Facebook, or they want them to get to your website. So you create the content. So let's say you're going to Facebook. Facebook has an algorithm we call AL. So you create your content, you submit it to Facebook, and it goes through their algorithm, and it says, oh, wait a minute, you're not doing very much in the way of content. It's not really that good. I'm only going to send you about 3 people. So they put it on here for 3 people. Maybe it's 10 people. Now, you may have a lot more people than that who follow you on Facebook, but they're not all seeing your content. Why? Because you are not doing enough for the algorithm to like you. If you want the algorithm to like you, you got to put some content out there daily, several times a day, and put the content out there, and then it looks at you and say, oh, I like this content, and it really loves it, so it says, okay, I'm going to give this to more people, and more people, and more people. It might be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn, TikTok. I don't particularly use TikTok myself, but if you like TikTok, that's a place you can go. And they have their own algorithm. Each one has their own. YouTube has its own. And so you're creating a footprint. So up before we were talking about driving by and seeing. Your links are your footprint. So you create that content, and it links to your website. So instead of going to Facebook, it's going to the business or e-commerce website. And so that is where your footprint is going to be. People click on it and it's going to take you to there. Or it's going to take you to your Facebook or your LinkedIn or whatever your social media is. Wherever you want them to go. It's a footprint, it's a guide. It's the way you drive in the internet is using the links either to Facebook, for example, or from Facebook to the content, or from the website to the content, from the content to the website. For instance, I do this post here, becoming a published author is fun, and this one will go to Facebook and LinkedIn. It will also show up when I do it that way. I can also put it on, if I wanted to, I'll put it on my business site. If it's a blog, for instance, I write a blog, I have it set up so it will go to my business site. So you can link it different places. And when you do that, you're creating a path, you're creating traffic that people can follow to get to your website or your social media sites. And so you need that. You need a footprint for your content. So they will go there or go here. And that is something that's exceedingly important for you to remember, because if you don't have that footprint, people are not going to even know you exist. They're not going to find it. When you go on Facebook and you post there and you're talking about your business, if you don't provide them a link, how are they going to get to you? Now, the really smart person might go, oh, wait a minute, it's called TNR Independent Books, and they go in there and they'll Google it, or some kind of search engine in Google, and it just might take them to the website. But that's kind of a more difficult, and a lot of people don't like to spend that much time looking for something. And your time of interest is very, very short. So you use keywords and you use links and things of this nature, hashtags, anything that will attract their attention and provide a route to, in this case, your website, or to your Facebook, or to your LinkedIn pages. And so that's very important for you to understand. And you got to create some content. Well, what is content? It's what I'm doing right now. I'm giving you content. Good content that you can use. To get on there and just talk nonsense will attract followers on Facebook. Now, I have other things I can talk about. For instance, I like to drink Diet Coke. Caffeine-free, preferably. But if I can't find that, then simply Diet Coke. I know another person who loves coffee, and he'll talk about coffee a lot. Now, he may even have that particular person, I think, even has a business where he sells coffee cups and so forth. I don't do that. I don't sell cups, or I don't sell containers, glasses, or anything like that. But I could. And maybe someday I will. But the thing is you have different things. For instance, I used to play table tennis. I love table tennis. And every once in a while, I will put a post out there about table tennis. I love it. And so that gives people a broader dimension, a broader way of looking at me and who I am and what makes me tick and things of this nature. Because the only way I can earn your trust is this way, communicating you by a video or a text post with just necessarily just text, or maybe a picture in text. But I like to do it with a video because there's just more content, and you get to see me and learn more about me, and like I said, how I tick and think and things of this nature. And that's what you need to do. If you're going to write a book, you may not be happy with that idea, but you're going to be the one primarily doing the advertising. That's an unfortunate truth. Authors do their own marketing for the most part. Now, in my case, I have a course I sell called Basic Authors Training, and it does the same. It takes the same information, takes it deeper. I teach it and I coach it into a much deeper level. But I also will publish. I will offer that student, once they get their book done and everything, that student will receive a publishing contract already paid for in the course, and they will be able to publish it and then have it marketed in the bookstore and through my posts and my blog and things of this nature. I also have a ministry publishing, which is the course with BAT, basic authors training, without the course. They might already know how to write. They just simply want to get published. So if you're a Christian and you serve in your church, I don't care if you're pushing a broom, mowing the lawn, singing in the choir, or you are a preacher or an office worker in the church. I don't care what it is. If you're helping your church out in some fashion, some way, doing more than just sitting in the pew, and you have a book to write that you want to get published, then I am interested in you. Whether you want to be a student or a client who wants to have their book published. And the same thing is, once it's published, it will go into the bookstore. And so that is something that I offer to people. Well, how do I communicate that? Through things like this, through this podcast and other podcasts, through posts, and any media that I can use to acquaint you with me and what I offer you. And you're going to have to do the same thing. Well, I help you with that in the course. I help you with that. I help you with the writing, the publishing, and the marketing. So that is something that you have to take into consideration. And the world we live in is much more complicated than it used to be. And unfortunately, in most cases, you end up doing the marketing itself. In some cases, the publisher will help. In my case, I help, but not all publishers do that. And so that is something you have to consider. So you got to have this footprint. You have to have that website, business or e-commerce, so that you can sell directly. That's where the most profits will be, by selling direct. And then you do that, you get your products, your services out there for people to see, and then it's not going to just naturally flow. You got to motivate them. That's why you have sales. That's why you put out posts talking about things, so that you can communicate to them and meet their need. Meet your need. That's what I'm trying to do right now, is meet your need. And so doing that is something very, very important. You can't overestimate having a website, a business website or an e-commerce website. If you're going to sell and you're going to want to sell directly, you need a website. And you need a way to get people to your website. This is by having content and going and having a lot of it. Doing it every day. I do it five days a week, Monday through Friday. And then other days I might, like on Saturdays, I quite often will create posts and other things that I'm going to use on those days. And so you got to have that. It's your footprint. Well, that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful to you. And by the way, if you do whether it be BAT or ministry publishing, I work with you. I coach you and teach you. In BAT, I really teach and coach, but I'll still do some of it in ministry publishing, because chances are there are some areas that you might be not so knowledgeable about, and if I don't know the answer, I know where to go look. So that's something, again, that I incorporate into all that I do. So if I'm going to close this up now, because we now have a overall view of what you need to do with whether it be a business website or an e-commerce website. So hopefully you can go from there and decide for yourself what you want to do. I'll see you in the next episode. In the meantime, you have a great day.